Hello and welcome to Ambymarieknits episode 69. My name is Amber. Today is September 6, 2024. Happy Friday. This is a mostly knitting, crochet, yarn-based craft channel. I also do spinning, actually a lot of spinning now, as well as sewing. You can find me, of course, on Instagram and Ravelry as Ambymarieknits. If you ever want to email me, you can find me at ambymarieknits@gmail.com. We have lots of spinning. We have one finished object as of this morning, and we're also going to talk about the MKAL. But first, we're actually going to jump right into our giveaway winner and get that out of the way so I don't forget. So I'm using the YouTube comment generator. I am going to put a video of this in here that I am doing. I'm going to hit record on my phone. And we are going to pick a winner. And it is Katie Bell Mahler 7521. Comment was congratulations on talking's hard, always for me. Congrats on 600 viewers. I love to decorate with ghosts at Halloween. 2 more weeks and my fall decor comes out. Fall is my favorite time of the year. I definitely do like fall. I admit I'm more of a winter person, and I know people are going to yell at me for that, but I like it when it's cold. I get to wear more wool. But congratulations, Katie Bell. If you would please email me or on Instagram at Ambymarieknits, ambymarieknits@gmail.com, and get me your address. I will get... Didn't even show the bag. I went straight to that part. I didn't stop recording on my phone. Hold on. That's going to be fun to edit. Whatever. Here's what you won. So, yay. Very fun fall bag. You'll get this in hopefully plenty of time to be able to enjoy it with your fall projects. Okay, admin stuff. Admin stuff's done. I think that's all I had. Okay, next up, finished objects. Exciting. So first only knitting finished object, I guess. I do have some mostly finished spinning objects, but I finished the Seriously Self-Striping Cowl by Leslie Ann Robinson of Knit Graffiti. Last week, I was at this green marker right here. And then actually I decided I had to get this done, like, by today. So, yesterday morning I was there, and I got to here yesterday, and then I did the rest this morning and bound off. This pattern is wonderful. I will make sure my project page is linked below. Because single color brioche, if you're learning brioche, I recommend 2-color brioche because that's got 2 colors and it lets you see the structure of the stitches better. But once you've got that down, single color brioche, it's pretty much like ribbing, and this is pretty mindless. Look how good that is. And then I like to be able to do this. Hopefully it doesn't mess the microphone up, my earbud. It came out, I've woven in the ends, but I haven't blocked it yet, so I won't snip that yet. But I like to be able to pull it over to keep my ears warm when it's cold. But yes, definitely recommend this pattern. It's fun. And yarn, we should talk about the yarn. And I do want to note, this does not show the yarn as good as I would like. Just the lighting, it's really hard to see it, I feel like. But this yarn is Pretty Twisted Yarns in the colorway Dark Side of the Loom. And I really want to look at this with like 3D glasses because it's got the rainbow colors, but how they stagger, like with the reds and the blues, it really looks like it would be cool with 3D glasses. So I'm going to hunt some down at some point and see what happens with that. This, like I said, I finished it this morning because it's not too bad. I started it, I have so many notebooks in front of me, y'all. It's not even funny. I think I wrote down when I started it. I started it on August 23rd and finished it this morning, so not too bad. Definitely, it's been my to-go knitting this past week, so that was cool. So that is my one and only finished object. Next, we're going to go to whips. First whip, actually really the only whip I want to talk about is my Granny square, whatever it is. I don't know what it is yet, actually. bag by Mary of Ginger Snap Fibers. So this is the Granny, all-in-one Grannies. So here is a completed Granny. I did not rewatch last week, so I don't remember. I think I was almost done with the second skein. I got that finished, all the ends woven in, and I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. That's what I've got done out of this ball. And then I just had it a little start on this. So this yarn is the Red Heart Yarn Inspirations all-in-one Granny. And I like it. Yes, I have to redo the squares constantly because I just get in a groove and I'm like, oh, not enough yarn. Oh, too much yarn. But that's okay. It's still fun. I still have not decided if this is going to be a blanket or a cardigan. I still not have dug through my acrylic to see what colors I have that would go with it. Because I've got some of the Brava 500 from Knit Picks. So they're like giant 500-gram balls of acrylic. And I think I have a color that'll work with this, but I haven't finished the squares. What's the point in looking into that yet? But that's good. Hopefully this next week I'll be able to finish the last of these, get the ends wove in, and next weekend maybe figure out what I'm gonna do with them. We'll see. I like to surprise even myself sometimes. The only other whip I have that I have not touched since you saw it last is the Punky Power socks, but I still want to rip those back, and that just wasn't a priority this week. Quite frankly, spinning has been a priority. That's really the main thing that I've done, that and reading. And that happens sometimes. So that is finished objects, whips. Now we're going to move into future. I think today or tomorrow I'll be getting the yarn to start the Doodle sweater test sample that I'm going to be doing. Do also want to note, Pigskin Party started yesterday. I did start something for that, but it was not knit or crochet. It was spinning. So we'll get to that here in a few. But I should be starting the Doodle sweater in the next day or two. Fingers crossed. The next thing I want to talk about, let me move my leg, for future knitting is the Westknits MKAL, the mystery knit along. It's called Go Go Dynamo. Just a picture of it. That starts October 3rd. I think it's October 3rd or 4th. I'm pretty sure it's Thursday the 3rd. I'm not 100% sure on that though. First week of October. That is going to be starting. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet or not. Last year was weird, but I made something awesome with it, so it still worked out. But also one of the problems I'm having is I'm not buying a lot of yarn. If I'm going to buy something, it's going to be fiber braids for spinning. But I don't have a lot of, this year needs 2 colors, 2 skeins of 2 colors each that contrast. Does not just have to be tonals. We can use like speckles or a little bit of variegated this year, so that's awesome. And then you also can use a mohair color opportunity type thing. So I've got 2 different options for one of the colors. I just don't have a second option to go with them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I pulled for possibilities to see what I find. Like I said, I haven't decided if I'm doing it yet, but if I do, these are possibilities. So the first one I've got is, I've got 2 skeins of the Lemonade Shop. Here, we're just gonna, and yep, it is blowing it out so bad. But if I don't have that light, I don't have light in here. So it's okay. So I have 2 skeins of this. It is 75-25, 465 yards for 100 grams. The colorway is Lollipop Hippie. Got this in a D-stash. And I love the neon pops of orange in there. Like, I know this is not this is more pastel than my normal colors, but it's still bright, and I like it. So this would be really fun to use. I don't have anything in my stash that would work for a contrast for it. So I'm not even sure what I would want to do. Maybe the orange for a contrast? I don't know. This is also a thinner 75-25. I have some 85-15 Bear that I could dye up. And I could just dye 2 colors. I just don't want to. So we'll see if I find anything that matches those 2. The other possibility I have, and I'm sorry for crinkles, but I don't want to take it out. I have 2 skeins of, this is Lolo Did It Solo. I don't think they have this base anymore. In the colorway Material Girl. And a single ply. I do like my single ply. But again, I have 2 skeins of this. All my other single ply that I have, I only have 1 of. So, I could find something else to go with this. Actually, I do need to check that out. Sorry about the crinkles again. Okay. So, I mean, it's just a very nice Pepto-Bismol pink. Nothing wrong with that. But with a good contrast. So that's a possibility. And then, one thing I know for sure I have, because you only need 1 of it, is I do have a mohair dare. That's what it's called. So I have this skein of Hedgehog Fibers Killed Silk Lace in the colorway Bubble. So it's got some blues and some greens and some of this stuff. So I have that, and that would work with this. It would also work with this as like a weird pop just for something, because that blue's in there. So I have that. I don't know. We'll see if I find anything. It also depends on how much I can get done on the Doodle sweater before it starts. Because, in case you haven't noticed, I've tried having multiple big projects at once, and I'm obviously not working on them. Like my Glass Cardi, it's a thing. It'll get done eventually. I just don't know when eventually is. So, got that going on. And I don't have a lot more stuff. I got a little bit of spinning stuff to talk about. So I did want to kind of continue with the Stephen West theme and talk about some of my Stephen West things that I've made. Well, my shawls. So I've got 4 Stephen West shawls that I've made. And 2 of them are MKALs. 1 of them was supposed to have been an MKAL, but became a different Stephen West shawl. So let's jump in and see what cool things I have to show you. And if you've been with me for a while, you've seen these, whether when I made them or I think I've showed them off before. But the first one is actually, I think, like the first fancy shawl I ever made. This is my Vertices Unite by Stephen West. Not an MKAL. I don't think it ever was an MKAL. But this one's fun. This one is a great way to use up random skeins. So this one, these 2 colors was a local dyer that's no longer there, called 398. There's 2 different colors there. This is the color I dyed. Which is the right side? Hold on, I think it goes this way. There we go. The pink I dyed. And then the showpiece colorway right there, that's some good old Nitrous Camo by Hearing Colors Dye Works. So, and then thanks to Lisa 72 Stitches, I did my first 2-color I-cord bind up. There was a thing a few years ago where like everybody was making this shawl, and I jumped in, and it was fun. I'm glad I did it. And I'm sorry I cannot get a picture of the full thing in here because I just don't have enough space. But it's still pretty. There's half of it. So that was my first ever Stephen West thing that I made. I have made more than what I'm going to show you, but I've either gifted it or I didn't pay enough attention. The next thing I did, though, was I did not do the slip stravaganza. That's when I first got into paying attention to hand-dyed yarn, patterns, Instagram, and all of that. But I did do the next one, which was Shawlography. And I had a blast with that one. There was so much stuff that was different, but like it was stuff I knew how to do, it's just I'd never done it in that way. Unfortunately, I made a mistake and it's not a wearable shawl. But here is my slip strip. Now I said the wrong one. My Shawlography. So this was 2021. Misread it along. This yarn that I used is it's an 8520 non-superwash that I got from Knit Picks on like a clearance thing. It is so soft. It is the softest non-superwash I've ever had. I've actually made a couple shawls. So this one, we have these cool little short rows and colors. And then you have these little triangle things. Okay, the shrimpies, let me show on the side. So here's the little shrimpies that this one has. Especially after seeing the 2022 one, I braided them together, and I kind of like how that looks better. Then you have this part, then you have a whelp, then you have this, and then you have little nubbies then some good old garter, then some brioche, which we all know I love, the cross stitches, and then the border. I actually like the border. I think it looks really cool. But the problem with this shawl is it doesn't fit. Like when I wear it, you can wear it, but it pulls because, let's see if I show you that. So the blue and the black, the triangle things here, those are involve slip stitches. Well, there is one row right here on the bottom on the slip stitches that I did not do it loose enough. It's way too tight. So the rest have give. That has no give in it. It bothers me so much. But it was fun. I definitely do recommend this one. Of course, you can get all those patterns that were misreaded along, so you know they come out as an actual pattern. But this one was fun, especially if you want to do lots of things you know how to do, but in ways you've never done them before. So there's that one. The next one that I did, which was the 2020, that was 2021, 2022 MKAL, is Twists and Turns. This is the one that drove everybody nuts. I finished it. It is really hard to wear. My yarn is awesome. So, again, not something, I'll try and see if I can put pictures of everything in if I have them. Yarn I used was Moonglow Fibers. Moonglow Yarn Co? Moonglow. I do not remember. This color's Wild Orchid. When I ordered this, thanks to computer screens, I thought that the brown was a charcoal. Black. It's not, it's brown. Not really my colors, but it still looks like the contrast is amazing. This one, though, was so much fun, sarcastically, because of this part right here. It looks so good. But these Jacob's Ladders type things, and crochet, they're Jacob's Ladders. You had to cast on and cast off constantly, but I made it, and it has some cool parts. Some of the cool parts would be, well, the cables look really good. They look really good in this yarn. Moonglow does great tonals. There was some I-cords you could have made to weave through these. I did not do that. And then you got the twisted stitches on the end. There we go. Let's get that lighting better. And also I modified the bottom. So on the bottom, there was an additional piece that you could have put down, and it really made it look like a starship. I don't know, it's weird. I didn't want to do that. And then I like sewed these down here, but also on the edges, like I made my edges kind of connect. I mean, I guess I could have done another border across all of it to tie it together more, but I didn't do that. Wearing it's tricky because it's so long. So it's more scarf than shawl, I feel like. But it's got so much fabric. So, not my favorite, but it's pretty. It looks good. I can say I did it. Okay, the cables do look really good. I'm not gonna lie. But there's that. And then the next one I'm going to show you is the 2023 MKAL. I started it, and there were some issues that were fixed, but I just didn't want to go any further. And now I've seen it. There's some gorgeous ones out there. It wasn't for me. I would not have enjoyed it. I'm glad I did not make it, but I really enjoyed what I did make out of the yarn that I had chosen. This is some single ply, just 100% superwash merino that I dyed myself, and I made the Eyelet Burst shawl by Stephen West. And this thing is so huge. Look at this. Like, this is one of the best fitting shawls I've ever had. The best fitting shawl I think I've ever had. Greatly recommend this. It is garter. There's some eyelets. It's huge. It's easy. Very customizable in the colors. Nicole of Witch and Knitting Mama is making one, and she's fading in minis, like scraps and minis. It's looking so good. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to go ahead and talk about all those shawls since we're coming up on the MKAL. If you are planning on participating, I just kicked the camera. I'm so sorry, but my foot is asleep. If you are planning on joining on the Stephen West MKAL, let me know in the comments below. Let me tell me what colors you picked. If it's your first time or not, and then we'll see what happens. So that brings us to the end of the knitting and crochet portion of this. Now we are going to jump into spinning. So I do have some FOs when it comes to spinning. I have not washed them yet, but I'm sorry, they're technically usable. First one is this one. This is, was this done last week? I don't think this was done last week. So this is Polworth and Silk from Kim Dye's Yarn. And the colorway might have been Seafoam. I did a chain ply on this. It did come out a bulky weight. I have the yardage wrote down somewhere, but not in my brain. But it looks good. I'm pleased with it. Polar silk, I don't know. I don't think I like having different types of fiber in there because they spin differently. And that's tricky for me. But I did it. I like it. It's pretty. And yeah, I know. It kind of matches that color. My other stuff does not. So I got that done. And let's see. Then I found a little bit of the Alice's Adventures by Storytell Stitchery that I thought I was done with, and I was missing some. So I got that spun up. I did not even weigh this to tell you how much it is. I think it's probably about 7 grams, 7 or 8. But I got that spun up, and it's a 2-ply. So I'm going to wash that today as well. And then lastly, I finished my first amount of fiber that I was gifted from one of my friends. Thank you so much, by the way, for that fiber. And this was 8 bumps of fiber, just 8 little bumps. And then I just spun 4 colors and 4 colors and then 2-plied them together. All right, let's show it to you like this real quick. So this is what we've got. I think this was 160 yards. I need to write stuff down better. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to try and improve. I'll actually show you that here in a few. I've got some stuff that I've been doing to try and help myself organize and keep track. But yeah, it's very 70s. I like it. Can't really tell, but that is actually, oh yeah, you can. You can see that it's purple. I thought it was brown at first, but it's purple. And I had some issues when I went to apply this on getting my twist right. When I applied it, I started with the green and the purple, and you can see in there where there's some stuff like that's not even applied. But then you can tell that it got better, and then it continued to be better for the whole thing. Still learning. Spinning is definitely a learning process for me, but I am enjoying it. So that's everything that I currently have spun. These are going to get washed today, and I'm blocked essentially. And then I have one other. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to let you know standing up was not fun because my leg's asleep, but it's a little bit better now. But okay, last thing I wanted to show you, acquisitions, Happy Mail. I don't know what you want to call it. But one of my friends went to Yarn Social in Kansas City last weekend, and she brought me back a fiber braid. So, full picture of the thing right here. But this is Gritty Knits, and it is 4 ounces comb top, hand dyed. It's called Emerald Rainbow. There's the fiber, superwash merino, which I kind of like superwash merino right now. Here's the half I'm not working on. It's not a braid, but there's been sewing. I'll show that in a second. So pretty. But there was a picture of the braid on it. It's fun. I have not decided yet how I'm playing this yet. And I know you should probably figure that out when you start spinning, but whatever. So I am doing this one differently. So when I got that Ply magazine last time, I was at Yarn Social. It talked about, there was a big article in there about how different twists are better for knitting versus crochet. Okay, actually I found out knitting, it didn't really matter what twist you use for spinning versus plying for knitting. For crochet though, it found that it did matter. So when you're crocheting, it's not coming undone, just like the motion of crochet. So I am doing this one for a crocheter because I am pretty much going to spin this and give it back to the person who gave it to me, because right now my joy is spinning it, not using it. I think that works. So I am spinning it as an S twist, and then I'm going to apply it as a Z twist, which is the opposite of what I have been doing. So it really isn't any different, except for when I go back to like check the ply or something, I've got to turn it the other way. But yeah, that's it for spinning. That is it for fiber. I only have one more thing to show you. I know this is a longer episode than normal. Thank you so much for sticking with me if you're still here. So on the sewing, only I want to show you, I'm planning on making more of these, so is I think I finally got my Japanese knot bags down. Like, I think they're finally good. Look at this one. Okay, it needs to be ironed again, but I got that. This fabric is Wing It by Tulip Pink from the Roar collection. There's the back, it's so pretty. And then the inside, I think this one's called Northern Lights. But yeah, it is just a fun little, I know I keep showing you these, Japanese knot bag. It is so good. I put some yarn in there. So good for knitting and walking, or standing, actually even just standing and knitting. It's really good for that as well. So I'm planning on making some more of those. Fingers crossed they're gonna go in the shop by next weekend. No promises, but I am going to try to get some of those in the shop because they're just, they're useful. I like them, and they fit in another bag very well since they're soft. Like they don't need interfacing on them because they're meant to be loose and easy to carry. So that's pretty much it. The only thing I want to talk about was, I mentioned I had a lot of notebooks now because I have this one, which I talk about, I put all my projects in. Like, it's not a lot. I'll show you August. Sorry, my handwriting is awful. But like, this just tells me what I came in with. Like, this is, okay, sorry, the top part is my forever projects. Then what I carried over from the month before, and then all the new stuff I cast on, and then like when I finish it, dates and whatnot. So I've got this. One of my friends got me this. I like it. So I've got that. Then of course we have the podcasting notebook, which is even less stuff. That's fine too. And then I've got another notebook I didn't bring over here, but it's by the eWheel. So that way when I'm spinning, I'm kind of trying to keep track of how long stuff takes me. This took me 6.5 hours to spin and an hour to ply. So we're going to round that up to 8 hours, and I have yarn. If I didn't care that I sat all day and didn't do anything, I could do this in one day. I would not do this in one day. That would make you hurt. And I think from my understanding, once you spin something, you're supposed to let it rest for a little bit before you ply it and all that cool stuff. So, but theoretically I could. But what I've started for this month, and you're not going to be able to read this because again, my handwriting looks like a 5th grader wrote it, but I'm still enjoying keeping track. This one is keeping track of what I've done every day. So I'm not getting like too detailed, but like on the September 1st, I chain plied this. I made 3 granny squares. I wove in the ends on 15 granny squares. I worked on the cowl for a little bit. And I finished a doodle swatch, which I didn't show you, but you've already seen the first one. It's the same. And blocked it. Like on the second, I plied the rest of this on the second. You know, I worked on spinning this. Like, it's just an itemized of what I worked on each day. So pretty much it's so those days that I feel like I didn't do anything, I can be like, okay, but you did this, this, and this, crafting wise. So I don't know. Can I make it an entire month doing this? I don't know. We're gonna find out. So with that being said, books, thank you, good garden and books. Don't get yelled at for not talking about books. Garden, it's there. Still getting tomatoes. I'm gonna make chili for dinner tomorrow, and I'm gonna chop up a whole bunch of the tomatoes and put in there. So that'll be cool. Cucumbers, still got some on there, but it's a struggling. Books, I'm still reading the Arrows trilogy by Mercedes Lackey. I finished book 2, which is Arrows Flight. And then I'm currently reading Arrows Fall, which is the 3rd book in the series. This is maybe the 3rd or 4th time I've read the series. It's just comfort reading, but it's my favorite author, so we're going to continue on that. And hopefully next week I'll have started something more interesting. If not, doesn't matter. But okay, that's all I've got. This was a long episode. Thank you if you're still here. If you would like to subscribe, all that good stuff, please. I do appreciate how many subscribers I've gotten. I appreciate everybody who comes and just hangs out with me and listens to me ramble around, ramble about whatever stuff I got going on. So with that being said, have a great weekend. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.